I was so sweaty that my mother didn't have to push me out. I just swam out of the and slid on the floor while my mother was reading a newspaper. When my mom died, I lost all sense of purpose. I had no motivation at all and no inspiration, so I didn't compete in the next level of competitions, and eventually I stopped. I just couldn't face people. Yeah. Good day mga langga and welcome to my vlog. Thank you for supporting my channel so far, and thank you to my 63 subscribers and 4,000 plus viewers. I really appreciate your gesture. And I would also like to thank Kusinang Pinoy in Mabula for the delicious igado I had last night. Now this is not a paid advertisement. I just have to give credit to where it's due. And I really love Kusinang Pinoy because of the service and good food and reasonable price. So kudos to you all there. In my first vlog, I promised that I'm going to talk about my trophy collection. And today is the day to do it for two reasons. Number one, because of our employment situation, I might have to move to a smaller flat or share an apartment with another person to save on cost. And that means I may have to dispose of my trophies because I only have to keep the essentials. We are in the digital age anyway, and I have pictures and videos of my trophies, and this post might be on YouTube forever, so I think I don't need my physical trophies. The second reason is that I want to share my knowledge, skills, and experience in public speaking so that I can help others who need guidance and assistance in this regard. Now, for your information, I've been coaching students and friends in the past several years, and with this YouTube platform, I could help more, I could reach out to more people. So what I'm going to do now is to show to you my trophies and tell you where I got them and how I got them. And later, I'm going to pick a few of my trophies and tell you the background stories behind them. For your information, there are so many interesting and even funny stories behind some of my trophies, and I can't wait to tell you about them. So, let's start. Mga langga, in all modesty, I've shown you my trophies and medals, and now I'm going to tell you where I got them. These trophies and medals are actually from Toastmasters International. It's a US-based organization that aims to promote communication, public speaking, and leadership. Now, I had been a member of the club for 10 years, on and off. And there are so many stories and reasons about my fragmented membership. Toastmasters clubs all over the world meet at least twice a month. In every meeting, there's an agenda that follows a certain sequence. It starts with the table topics portion, which is just like the Q&A portion that you see in Miss Universe pageants and in noontime shows. And then it's followed by the prepared speech portion, wherein some of the members will give their prepared speeches based on the manuals given by Toastmasters International. And finally, there's the evaluation portion, wherein an assigned evaluator will give an evaluation of the speakers. So that's how the normal meeting goes. Now, every year, Toastmasters International conducts speech competitions in different levels. So they start with the club level, area level, then it goes to the what we call the division level, and the district level, the regional level, and finally the international competitions, which is normally held every year in the United States. Now, these competitions come in 4 categories. The International Speech Competition, which is the serious type of competition. The humor speech, of course, by the name, it means it has to be comedic, funny, humorous, hilarious. And then there's the table topics portion, which is, as I said earlier, similar to the Q&A portions you see in Miss Universe competitions. And finally, the evaluation portion, where there's a target speaker who speaks in front of the public, and then the evaluators, and then the contestants will evaluate the target speaker, and whoever evaluates the best wins. The competitions are the knockoff type of contests. Luckily, I've actually won in many of these competitions, and that's why I have so many trophies. I actually have 66 trophies and 32 medals. So now I'm going to pick some of the trophies and I'll tell you the stories behind each and every one of them. First, let me talk about these 2 trophies. They are the last trophies I won in Toastmasters competitions. This one is for the international speech category, which is the serious type of competition. And my topic here was about my father, and the speech was inspired by the movie Terminator. At the end of that movie, Linda Hamilton's character was seen talking to her unborn child, and she said, "Should I tell you about your father? In the little time that we spent together, we loved a lifetime's worth." And that was a quotation that got stuck in my mind, and I used it as my inspiration for my speech about my father. My father wasn't an ever-present father. I mean, he was always away for weeks and weeks in a row, and we did not see him often when we were kids. However, every time he was present with us, we felt all the love in the world. Papa was a very affectionate person. He would hug us, kiss us on the cheeks, bite our ears, clean our ears, take us everywhere he goes on weekends, and we could just feel his focus on us. We felt special, important, and loved each time he was with us. And my message to the audience in my speech was that it's not the quantity of time that's important. Even if you have years and years of time with someone, but if you don't spend quality time with that person, then it's useless. However, even if you only have a few minutes, but you show the person you love how much you love him or her, you focus your attention, you give all the love and care and the affection, then that love in a short time would last forever. And that's what happened to us, especially to me. With Papa around, I just felt like I was the most wonderful person in the world. It's just the showering of love was too much, even in a short period of time, that up to now, I feel it, I really feel special. And I'm very confident about myself because Papa showed me that I'm important. And so, that's what I told my audience basically. I said, it's not the quantity of time, it's the quality. In the little time that you spend with your family, if you show your love and affection and focus and attention to them every single moment, then that display of affection will last a lifetime. With that speech, I won first place. And now let's talk about my other trophy, the humor speech. I'm not a comedian, and I don't consider myself a funny person. I'm more of the serious type. However, because of the lessons that I got from Toastmasters International and from reading the books and from listening to some of the speeches and the jokes and the comedies in YouTube, I've learned to be a comedian myself. And over the past 10 years, I've honed my skills by practicing, practicing, and practicing. And that's why I've won many trophies in the humor speech category. And for this particular speech, I spoke about poop. One time I heard on television somebody talking about poop, and they said it's very important that you look at your poop because it can tell you about your health. You have to check the color, the shape, and the smell. So that was the inspiration for my speech. And for that speech, I actually brought a toilet bowl on the stage. And in the beginning of my speech, I sat on the toilet bowl. I pretended to poop. And then I said something like, "Do you ever look at your poop after pooping?" Something like that. And then I made jokes about poop, like the colors and what they mean. Like if it's gray, you might have a liver problem. If it's black, you have another type of problem. And if it's orange, it means you ate a lot of Doritos. It was a bit yucky for some of the audience, but majority of the audience loved it. And that's why I won first place. As I said earlier, these are the last two trophies that I won in Toastmasters International. Because I won first place in these two categories, I should have competed in the next level of competitions. However, during the contest itself, I got news that my mom was very sick, and so I had to go home. That was around late January or early February, I think. And my mom died on March 20, 2018. When my mom died, I lost all sense of purpose. I had no motivation at all and no inspiration, so I didn't compete in the next level of competitions, and eventually I stopped. I just couldn't face people. Yeah. I'm back, and sorry for being emotional, but that's just who I am, and I'm very transparent. I show what I feel, and I don't care. Anyway, let's talk about another trophy. This one. I got this trophy when I competed for the first time in the Middle East competitions in Qatar. That was in 2007, the second year that I participated in the contests. This one is for the humor speech category. For this particular speech, I was inspired by my crush in high school. My crush that time had a very particular type of laughter. It's something I've never heard before. When she laughs, she only does like 2 syllables. Like instead of ha 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 ha, she would laugh like this, ha ha. Like ha ha. And every time she laughed, I was like, what happened? Where's the rest? There was also one other classmate of mine with a very different type of laughter. When we laugh, we spell the syllables like ha ha ha. But this guy, he would suck in, the laughter, like sorry. Ramirez, wherever you are, that's how you laugh. Those two types of laughter inspired me to come up with a speech called The Types of Laughter. And in it, I added different types of laughter I heard from other people. Like, a friend of mine here in Kuwait, when she laughs, she would put the ha 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 with a hee, like ha 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 ha, something like that. Anyway, so I really enjoyed the speech. People were laughing, but I only placed third place. So yeah, that's my experience in Qatar. So those are some of the stories I have, and I hope one of these days I can tell you more about the other ones. Overall, these are my achievements in Toastmasters, and I'm going to read a list in all humility because it's quite a long one. I was Kuwait's representative to the district, or I'll call it Middle East speech competitions in 2007, 2008, 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2017 in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, and Bahrain respectively. I won third places in humorous speech in 2007, 2008, and 2011, and speech evaluation in 2011. I reached the finals in speech evaluation, international speech, and humorous speech categories in Bahrain in 2012. And in all modesty, the years that were not mentioned are the years where I boycotted Toastmasters for various reasons. And I'll tell you about them in one of my future vlogs. I've really enjoyed my time with Toastmasters International. It was one thing that I was very passionate about. I loved the meetings, the people I've worked with. I had such a great experience. And hopefully, when I get inspired in the near future, I'll join the organization again. It has enriched my life in so many ways. And I hope to fall in love with public speaking again. In college, I joined a singing competition. And I sang, I made it through the rain. Halfway through the song, I started sweating. And by the end of the song, I was so wet, people thought it actually rained.